Hello friend and welcome back to Betta Days. I hope you are having a fantastic day and I hope you're staying warm because it's a little bit cold right now. Thankfully it is warming up where I live, but for a while we even got snow, which where I live is not normal. Today I'm going to talk about something that has actually been requested a lot, and I do want to apologize that it took me so long to get this video out. I just had so many video ideas, and there were so many that I had before this one, and then people kept requesting it, so it kept bringing it back to my mind, so I'm sitting down and I'm doing it today. What is that, you may ask, if you didn't read the thumbnail or the title, which you probably did, but I'm going to explain anyway. I've had a lot of requests to show people my betta fish feeding routine. It's actually really simple and really straightforward, but the fact that I don't feed them pellets or flakes, but rather frozen food, is really where the questions come in, because a lot of people, they want to switch their betta to a frozen diet, but because they come in these cubes that are bigger than one portion for 1 or 2 bettas, how do you manage it? How do you feed them since they're not evenly distributed out into each little portion for each day? So I'm going to show you exactly how I do that today. What I'll do is I'll be sitting here and I'm just going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to go film some B-roll so you can actually see what I do. Is it glamorous? No. And you know what? Sometimes that's just the best way to do it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Omega carnivore mix. This is the food I use. This is the food I recommend. Some people live in big cities. Some people live further out in the country. I've talked to a lot of people, and not everyone lives next to a pet store that carries this food, but a lot of people do. So I suggest checking it out to see if your local pet store has it. A lot of Petcos and PetSmarts have it. I actually buy it from a pet super center. I think it's it's Pet Supplies Plus. They are close by, and I buy my fish food from them. They're in the fish section in the freezer. They have this teeny little freezer. It kind of looks like a wine cooler, but you won't find it on the regular food aisle. You're going to find it in a cooler somewhere in the fish section if they have it. So that's the food that I feed them, and as you can see, it comes in little bitty cubes, kind of like you would pop out a pill. You can just pop out a little cube. But those cubes are massive, and way more than 1 or 2 or even 3 or 4 bettas should eat in one sitting. So how do you manage it? Well, first off, you buy the food. Secondly, get you a little shot glass. I don't drink, but I do juice, so I have little ball jar shot glasses. I really like the ones with the handle and the lid that you can screw on top. I like the lid because obviously you're going to be storing it in the freezer, so keep that in mind. They're super easy to find on Amazon. They come in a pack of 10 or 12 maybe. They're not super expensive. Maybe even raid your friend or family's pantry and find one and not have to pay any money. But just in case you don't have any, I will put a link in the description to that. Now keep in mind, all links that lead to Amazon, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, they are affiliate links, so that means that I will make a small percentage off of what you buy, even if it's not the specific product you click within 24 hours of pressing that link. So anything you buy, I'll make a little commission off of it, and it doesn't cost you any extra, so I really appreciate that support. So now you have a shot glass. Do you have to have a shot glass? No, but it's actually my favorite because it's glass and because it has a little lid, it's small, it's convenient. It's my favorite. So once you get that, you're going to open up the package, position one of the cubes over the mouth of the shot glass, and then you just press it. You will probably have to apply a fair amount of pressure, but once it gets popped out, you're going to hear that little clink, and then boom, you have a nice little cube inside of your shot glass. Now what are you going to do with this? Essentially, when it's feeding time, take it out, wait about, I found around 10 to 15 minutes, it will start to partially thaw enough to where you can take your tweezers and you can pinch some off and feed it to your bettas. Even if it's not fully thawed, you don't have to worry about it because your betta's water, if you have a heater, should be around 78 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's going to thaw like that as soon as you put it in there. I recommend using metal tweezers. They're easy. Sometimes if you have to chisel a little piece off, if it's not fully thawed, you can. They're just good all around. They're easy to sterilize and wash as well. I recommend some little metal tweezers. I have so many of them because I like to craft. I'm an artist, so I always have craft supplies and just random stuff in my boxes. So I probably have about 3 pairs of those. It's highly possible that you do too, so that's what I recommend. And no, you don't have to feed your betta with these tweezers because since they are metal, there can be a possible risk of your betta injuring himself on them. So what I do is I just put them in the water, kind of swish around to make sure it gets fully off the tweezer, and then I just let it float around and my Betta just goes to town. If you don't have metal tweezers, but you have those scaping tools, the scaping tweezers that you use for plates, you can use those too. I mean, it's incredibly long, but hey, it works as well, and the edges are more rounded and not as sharp, so you could feed your Betta from those and he won't get hurt. After it's thawed just enough to where there's some sitting in the bottom and it's easy to pick up with the tweezer, feed them a few pinches. I typically do around 3 pinches of food. It's hard to explain because I don't, you know, a lot of people like to measure in cups or tablespoons or teaspoons or specific amounts. I eyeball a lot of stuff, even when I cook. I eyeball stuff whenever I can, so when people ask me for measurements, it's a little bit hard for me, but I will do about 3 to 4 pinches of this food. Another method I'll kind of use to tell whether or not they're full is to look at their stomach. When they're completely empty, their stomach is going to lay flat, so their body will have that little characteristic curve, but when you feed them about 3 to 4 pinches, you're going to see that belly bulge out. You'll see it. And that to me indicates they are full. Now, how big is the bulge supposed to be? It's just supposed to be enough to where you can notice it. It's not supposed to be huge. You don't want to stuff your Betta. If your Betta stomach is the size of a smallish grape, you have a problem. He's probably overfed, and depending on what you're feeding him, he's most likely constipated. I actually had this issue with somebody recently. She reached out to me from the Betta Fish Forum, my free Facebook group. She was kind of freaked out because her Betta's stomach was so big. I asked her, I said, what do you feed him? She said, I feed him pellets. It's the only thing he'll eat. So what happened was she was feeding him way too many every single day, and pellets are dry by nature, so it's very easy for a Betta to become constipated if that is their only diet. So I told her, give him a break for a few days, don't feed him anything, and his stomach returned back to normal. And this kind of leads me to just this little side note, but this is why I love feeding my Betta fish the Omega carnivore mix so much. There is 0 risk of constipation, and when I say that, I mean 0. I have been feeding my Bettas this diet alone, no flakes, no pellets, for over a year now. Their poops have been regular. Never once have they become constipated, and it makes sense. And I know a lot of people talk about how it can give your Betta too much fat. Your Betta can become too fat on these things, which to me never made sense. But I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go with it for a while. I'm going to feed my Betta nothing but this, and they love it. And I'm never going back. So if you're worried about your Betta becoming too fat because it's fatty food or constipation or whatever, don't worry about it. Lots of people, including myself, have switched to this, and it has made a world of difference. Not just in whether or not food passes, but also my Betta's appearance and behavior. Now, just in case you need further instruction, I kind of doubt that you do, but just in case, once you feed your Betta, take that little shot glass, screw the lid back on or whatever container you want to use, and pop it back in the freezer. And that's it. That's all you have to do. It's very easy. I do this once every morning. If for some reason you have reason for concern and maybe you think your Betta needs a day to fast, you can do that. He'll be perfectly fine. You don't have to feed him every single day, but on this diet, things pass through so quickly that you can do this every day. I do it once in the morning, and your Betta will be totally fine and will absolutely thrive. So friend, I hope this video helped you. Thank you to the people who suggested it to me. I'm sorry it took me so long to get it out, but here you go. If you are new here, feel free to stick around, and if you've been here for a while, I really, really appreciate your support. It means so much to me. All the sweet comments that I have been getting recently have been extremely encouraging, and really just a simple, kind comment can go such a long way. Some people have no idea, but for a content creator and artist, it means the world, so thank you. A little update, I don't give many updates on my book. I am currently writing a Betta Fish Care ebook. It's unlike anything out there, and I can confidently say that it will be the best when I release it. I am still working on it, but I'm getting close to done, and I will try to give more updates on that more frequently. I don't even think a lot of people know I'm writing it, but it's in the works. We're getting there, and it is really coming together with a lot of critique and help from people like you, so I really appreciate it. And with that, friend, I will let you get back to your weekend. Have a lovely Sunday. God bless, and I will see you soon.